Hello, every pony. I'm MasterCode, your ace analyst, and today we'll be looking back at the IDW Micro series with issue number 6, starring Applejack. It's nearly Hearth's warming eve once again in Equestria, and down on the apple farm, the apples are busy preparing applesauce for the season. But it seems that they're being tormented by the mythical creature Sasquatch, stealing their precious apples. And that's Sass-Squash, because it's a sassy fellow that looks like a squash. Yeah. Anyway, one of the first observations I notice is how AJ goes through similar motions as in Applebuck season. She declares that she'll do all the work of catching the creature by herself and not be a burden on the rest of the family. The rest of the apples keep trying to help her, but AJ stubbornly takes on the task alone, much like how her pride kept her from asking for help in Applebuck season. It's not a complete rehash of the episode or its lesson, but it feels like we're treading territory that AJ should have moved past by this point in terms of comic show continuity. As far as the rest of the Apple siblings go, they're not in the story much, but they do their job alright, with Mac and Applebloom legit caring about AJ's plight and the stress it's causing her, and both contributing to help her out. The montage of AJ attempting to capture the said Sasquatch and failing to do so does lead to some good comedic moments, like her getting somehow caught in her own cage, AJ literally becoming one with nature, and her turning into the Swedish chef? AJ finally gives in and has the whole family join in, and they are successful in capturing said squash monster. But it turns out it was just an elaborate costume worn by the mastermind behind it all.
That no good neighborhood bully and thief, Red Herring.
Oh, how I wish that were true, because at least I could get behind it how ludicrous and impossible it would be. Hell, even Granny Goodness makes more sense. But no, it's actually another Granny, Granny Smith.
What?
Okay, where do I even start with this? First off, how the hell is she operating this thing without any kind of magic? Even for an Earth pony, that costume's gotta weigh quite a lot, yet she's able to make it run and knock over trees? How the hell is she able to work the arms and the legs and the fingers with just her hooves? Where was she storing this costume the whole time?
It just raises too many questions.
But that's the least of this reveal's problems. You see, the whole reason behind this was Granny noticed that Applejack was being stubborn about being more concerned with work than family togetherness, so to teach her a lesson, she organizes a charade with a Sasquatch to mess with AJ, all just to make her realize the importance of said lesson. Now yes, all work and no play makes AJ a dull pony, and family is an important thing. But when it's a family member that's tormenting another in the family to prove a point, that's when you cross the line. First off, Granny does bring up this factoid in the beginning about working too much, and AJ actually acknowledges it in the beginning and wants to change her ways. However, Granny doesn't give AJ that chance to learn for herself, and literally in that same night gets the Sasquatch to steal a bunch of apples, setting off AJ's hunt for the elusive creature. Ah yes, Granny clearly cares about family values by stressing out AJ and wasting precious time and resources by paying off the creature with pies to screw around with AJ and having it keep stealing their apples. You know, their livelihood, the things that keep this farm going. But it's all in the name of family, ends justify the means, so it's all okay. Anyway, let's talk about the artwork because it's honestly really good. Hickey and Breckle are our artists, and as ridiculous as this Sasquatch looks, I like the design with the way his hair leaves are placed. He looks like a cool, chill dude, kind of goofy, but approachable. The ponies themselves are drawn with a good amount of detail, like with the individual hairs and their manes and tails, and showing depth with sheen and shadows upon them. And though the designs keep fairly close to show style, there are times when they get creative and their facial or body designs go abstract, leading to a fair amount of humorous expressions and poses. As far as the backgrounds go, some of them have a decent amount of detail, like this wide shot of the farm at night, which has an appealing contrast to purple and black, setting a good cold and dark atmosphere. Then lots of times the frame backgrounds are just solid colors or gradients. Despite that though, most of the artwork overall is good. Had it just been a silly story about a weird creature stealing apples and screwing around with the Apple family and AJ learning the value of family togetherness, it wouldn't have been anything great, but at least it's a simple, strange tale I can comprehend and get behind. As is, it's a story about manipulation to teach some pony a lesson instead of them learning for themselves. If you want to see this concept done better, watch the episode Going to Seed. It's a similar story about the apples catching a mystical creature during harvest time. And while that episode was nothing spectacular, it felt more organic in family bonding, and a lesson that isn't forced upon like this comic. So yeah, definitely one of the weaker in the Micro series. Well, that's it for today, guys. Until next time, MC out!